Yeah.
Tell me what kind of, you know, what kind of pushback, right? What kind of,
Oh man,
you know, stagnation did you receive from some of the old heads
a
that didn't want
ton,
to
a
take
ton.
on some of those new ideas? Talk to me about that. What was
Yeah.
that?
So I mean, older people are just slow to change. Period.
Mm,
You know that. And especially in the dry cleaning industry, there were a lot of things that, especially doing pickup and delivery,
yeah.
older people would push back on that because they've been doing it the way that they've been doing it for years. A lot of them are family-owned businesses, so they've been passed down from granddad to dad, now to son or daughter, and they're still stuck in that mentality of this is the way my dad did it, this is the way my granddad did it, and it always worked. They couldn't see the changing of just we're in the 21st century now. Things are going more digital, and as you can see now in 2023, everything has gone pickup and delivery, especially
100%.
after COVID.
100%.
So there was a lot of pushback on that. A lot of the pushback on things like social media. They didn't think that they needed social media in order to grow their business. So it's just older people mentality. It's the same thing you deal with your parents when it comes to music, and they're trying to tell you that what you're listening to ain't real music, and you're trying to explain it to them, and they can't understand it. They just couldn't grasp. But eventually, unfortunately, COVID came, and that was a big change to the industry where a lot of them had to wake up and realize, okay, maybe what these guys have been preaching all this time is exactly what needs to happen. Maybe I do need to go more pickup and delivery. Maybe I do need to put more money into advertising and things like that. And again, unfortunately, a lot of businesses that did not want to change during that time, it was a very tough time for dry cleaning. I mean, lost close to 40% of the industry
Right.
gone.
Wow.
So,
I mean,
you know,
in those moments, you have to have somewhat of an immigrant mentality.
totally.
Some people are, they have this thing, and I've noticed it's just in business, or I've noticed in in life, there's this difference between natives
Hmm.
and immigrants.
Yes.
Natives, more traditionalized, more, hey, this is how we do things here.
Yep.
Hey, we've been doing this for a long time, and it needs to stay this way. And then
That's it.
you got immigrants come in, and they're like, well, do you know where I came from? I came from a
Exactly.
place where, you know, everything needs to change. I can't come to a place that's stagnated, and they get into those environments and they have new ideas. They have fresh new ideas. They have things that places they come from that generates new ideas, new cultures,
Yep.
new
Yep.
ideologies. And sometimes the natives just don't want to move. Not really because they don't think it's going to work, but really
Yeah.
because pride,
Totally. Totally.
and not really wanting to take the back seat.
Yeah.
And that's one thing that I've noticed, especially when I'm leading a team.
Hmm.
I'm doing business with people. Maybe I'm doing a partnership. How to take the back seat
It's
is
important, man.
important, man.
Yeah.
You don't always have to be the front man,
That's it.
and sometimes the front man is not the most powerful man
True. True.
or woman,
Yeah.
right? And so knowing how to just be number two or number three
Yep.
actually is a success principle, because essentially you will be number one if you know how to run number two or number three
Exactly.
really, really
Exactly.
effectively. So I got a question for you, man, that
Yeah.
I think the people want to know. As a custom clothier,
Uh huh.
I think the people want to know this. So what fabrics should I look to ensure comfort and style in
So
different seasons? What
very
fabric?
common question. Very, very common question, man. And I think, a lot of times people come in and we're getting them suited up and we talk about the different fabrics as we're going through the process. 100% wool, usually the best way to go for a suit. A lot of people hear wool and they think, oh my God, that sounds hot. But wool is actually a very lightweight material. It's all natural fibers, so it's going to be much more breathable. I mean, this suit that I'm wearing right now is 100% wool,
Wow.
but it's a very fine thread, like a lighter weight wool. So it's
Right, because
soft.
I definitely wouldn't have said that.
Yeah,
That's wool.
so it's soft, it's breathable, it's pliable. So I do get some give in my pants when I want to move. I get some give in my jacket when I want to move. So it's not as stiff or as hot as a lot of people may think. So that would be my number one. And then number two would be just if it's not going to be wool, make sure it's some kind of natural fiber. You want to stay away from the polyesters. Polyester and other synthetic fibers tend to like trap heat in.
Mm.
Natural fibers are always going to be more breathable. So that's why things like wool, cotton, linen, silk, bamboo, those would
Mm.
always be the best ways to go.
Wow.
Yeah, totally.
Man, that's interesting, man, because you see so much, and me personally, I know a lot of guys, maybe they're working out or
Yep.
maybe they're in the fitness and they're like, I need it to stretch.
Yeah,
right? I need to
yeah,
stretch and
yeah.
stuff. Is there a way for me to get a wool suit or a bamboo suit that stretches? Like, talk to me about, is there a way?
Yeah, definitely. So 100% wool is naturally just going to stretch and form to your body over time. Same thing with cotton. So that's, again, natural fibers. Linen is not as pliable,
Right.
and silk is a little too delicate to be trying to stretch.
Mm.
So what happens now in the clothing industry is you can get some blends. They're going to be like a wool with a little bit of lycra or elastane. Not a whole lot, because you don't need a whole lot. It could be like 98% wool, 2% elastane, or like 96% wool, 4% lycra. That's going to give you just enough stretch to where you can move and flex and be able to just like get around in your daily life. I mean, we got a client he's a bodybuilder and a fitness coach.
Love that.
And he bought one of our suits, one of our stretchy versions of our suits, and he thought it was so amazing. He actually did a video of him working out in the suit. So he's bench pressing, he's squatting, suit on, everything. He felt comfortable, and he absolutely loves it. So, yeah, it just takes a little bit of, like I said, some elastane or some lycra. It doesn't take a whole lot. So you still don't compromise the natural breathability of the natural fibers.
Guys, can you tell that Mike knows exactly what he's talking about?
Yeah.
I've been wearing suits for a long time. I know a lot of people who are great with clothing.
Yeah.
But I've never heard it like this. And so this is real game.
Yeah,
I want to talk to some of the guys out there. Maybe you're, 19, 20, 21 years old. Maybe you're even 30 still trying to figure it out.
Yep.
Maybe 40 years old trying to figure it out. And you're like, hey, what if I was able to go into this? What would be somewhat of an ideal or a return that I could receive? So, Mike, I know you've been in business successfully. We just finished talking about some success that you had, which is awesome.
Yeah.
Talk to us about how long you've been in this business, but also what was one of those highest months that you just shared with me that I thought was awesome? Just off of commission. Like, don't give them the big thing. But just off of commission, what was like something that you brought in that month, in 1 month?
So I came into this business from dry cleaning. I did dry cleaning for a decade. From where I was, I ended up going on to consult cleaners nationally and help people build and grow pickup delivery services. One of the companies I worked with was cleaners called Carlson Cleaners out of Sarasota, Florida. It's a father and a son. Father had been in business for a long time. His son ended up growing or helping to start and grow his pickup and delivery service. And I was able to help coach along with that. Well, son eventually got tired of dry cleaning because it's a tough business. And to be honest with you, you don't make a lot of money. You start to see your ceiling really quickly. And so he left and he started Tweeds. And that's how our company started. He had asked me once to come along, and I'm just like, man, consulting's going pretty good. I think I'm going to stick it out. He waited. He asked me again. I was like, things are still going pretty well. I think I'm going to stick it out. And then after COVID, he approached me one more time, and he's like, hey, man, I know where you are. He's like, because I know how long you've been doing this, and I know what the ceiling is. And he's like, so are you ready to come take the Tweeds ride? And also at this time, I had moved away from Jacksonville. I had lived 2 years in Kansas City. And then at this moment, I was in the second year of living in St. Louis. And the winter, all that stuff, I was getting sick of it. So he said, this would be a good opportunity for you to get back to Florida and start something new, because I know you're tired of dry cleaning. And I was like, you are correct. He was hitting all the buttons, man. I mean, he's a salesman. He knows how to hit the buttons. So moved down here to Sarasota, and this was a little over a year ago now, and joined the company. Prior to that, I mean, I had already been interested in men's custom clothing just based on a couple of people that I followed online. And then just my knowledge of fabrics and just how to take care of them from the dry cleaning industry has translated well. So it's been a great experience for me to be here with the company. And then when it comes to making money, obviously we get paid off commission. And it's a 3-tier structure. So it's all based on how much you bring in monthly in sales. So far in the last year and a couple of months that I've been working for the company, my highest commission that I have made was about 17 and a half for 1 month. Yeah, and that was a great month. And I mean, for me, that's more money than I ever made in a month in my life. So it was a really great it's been a really great experience.
Do you
for me.
feel like you could scale to 100,000 a month?
Oh, 100%, totally.
Listen, tell me what leak that you would have to feel, if you know.
Yeah.
And if you don't, say it. But do you know what leak you need to feel in order to go from 17.5 a month to 100K per month?
Yes. So during the sessions here at the conference, man, we went through the leaks process and we identified some of the things that we may have some leaks in. And one of the first things is something that I think a lot of people may struggle with, and it's distractions. You know, you go through your day, and I know selling suits sounds real glamorous, like, hey, he's making custom suits. A lot of the work is not glamorous at all. We spend a lot of the day cold calling, just going over follow-ups. I may follow up with a guy for 6 months before he actually buys a suit. So sometimes throughout the day, you know, you've hit 50 different follow-ups, and then you've hit 20 other cold leads, and you know, you've been at it for a couple of hours. You might get the urge to scroll Instagram or sit around and have a conversation. And that's one of the areas where we identified, okay, hey, we probably waste about 2 hours a day on nonsense.
Wow.
We can cut that out. And then the other thing was, and this is something that you hear in sales coaches all the time, is role playing. We don't role play enough. We do some, but we don't feel like we do enough. We may do it once a week, but we feel like we should be doing it more so that we can overcome these objections and have those just have like a scripted way to overcome different objections. Like, we think we could do a better job. We have some, but we don't have all the answers right now, because there's still objections that we come up against that we don't know how to answer, and then we have to sit and think about it. If we do more role play, we can definitely overcome those objections a lot quicker.
Last but not least, and we're going to end right here, just so we can, you know, really dive in deep for this question and share with us and share with the platform, you know, how are you going to get to the next level, but focus it on how's your mental, how's your spiritual life, and what truly is the morals and values that you're going to implement in order to go to the next level. But let people understand, like, you know, your spiritual background and why, you know, your mental background and why. And are you mentally great right now?
Yes.
Because a lot of times we talk about business, we talk about making money. So happy for you, almost 20K in a month, fired up.
Yeah.
But there's something on the back end also that people need to understand, that this goes into it.
Yeah.
What all goes into making that, so that people can know it's not just about grinding it out and making a bunch of money, but hey, I actually need to put some other things in me on the back. So talk to us a little bit about that.
Yeah, you can't just grind it out, because I mean, you'll wear yourself down, honestly. Spiritually, I mean, I grew up in the church. You know, family went to church all the time. My mom and my dad are very spiritual individuals. So I do have that background, which I did stray away from at one point, but I found myself coming back around. I got my Bible and I read on a regular basis. I also do things like meditation, you know, and a lot of people hear meditation, they think it sounds all wooey. It's literally me just sitting in a room, no television, no phone, and just allowing my thoughts to pass. Not dwelling on any one thing, but acknowledging everything and then allowing it to flow through. It helps keep your mind clear. And then also journaling, man, just writing things down. If I have an idea, I write it down, because you never know when you're going to need to come back to some of that stuff for something that you may need to grow in your business. It's not all journaling about the bad things that's happening in my life. It's journaling about an experience that I may have today. Like, I'm on this podcast today. I'm definitely going to write about this tonight. How did I feel while I was doing it? What do I think I'll get from it? How do I think I'll grow from it as a person personally? And that ties in as well to the mental aspect of it. We hear a lot about mental health, and I hate to say it because the first person I heard bring it up was Antonio Brown, and I know everything he's been through, but he talked about mental wealth. And I like to think of it that way, is how can I build myself with mental wealth? So the journaling goes into it, the meditation goes into it. Also understanding that, you know, confidence and things like that is an everyday process. Like, I have to always be making sure that I look at myself in the mirror, make sure I'm always trying to improve every day and build my confidence. One thing that I'm working on right now is getting back into physical shape, because the physical is a part of it too. When you're grinding out every day, sales, knocking on doors, cold calling, this and that, your body starts to wear down a little bit. And if you get too tired, you're not going to have the energy to go the next day. So trying to get back to my physical state that I want to be in while also keeping my mental and everything going. It's an all-encompassing thing. The spiritual, the mental, and the physical all have to work together for you to achieve success. So,
Wow.
yeah.
Man, well, I've totally enjoyed talking to you.
Yeah,
Honestly,
definitely,
this
man.
has been great. We've been friends on social media. We've been
Yes,
friends
sir.
at
Yes, sir.
conferences. I really, really appreciate you and really admire you as I
Thank
see
you.
you moving and grooving and being sharp every single day and
Thank you,
making
thank
that
you.
lasting impression every day and just being a stand-up guy, a man's man, if you will.
Appreciate that, man.
And so I'm excited to know you. I appreciate you. I believe that you are going to hit every goal that you set for yourself. And for all the people, man, again, this is Mike. Mike with Tweez. Listen, he is the custom clothier.
Yes, I am.
And if you need anything, guys, if you're looking to take your wardrobe to the next level, to take your look to the next level, and really, really step out in a way where people look at you and say, that's the guy I need to know, then make sure that you reach out to him on Instagram, reach out to him through email so that you can grab a consultation with him. He can help you navigate what you should do and how you should do it and potentially get a custom suit made directly from Mike. It's Jikeme, man, the Wavemaker, and we're looking forward to seeing you on the next video. Let's go.
All right. That was dope.
Powerful, man.
That
Look
was
at you.
dope, man. That
You
was
are
dope.
amazing.
I like that.
You're amazing, man. That was awesome.
No, man, you brought it out.